What's up, guys? Sorry about that a minute ago. That really sucks because I'm actually getting people tuning in live, and then I get the last like show or two, and then I actually, then the internet is all janky. Oh well. Rebooted some stuff. I'm seeming to be good here now from what I can see on the stats. So I'm gonna let that marinate for a minute. Maybe you guys that wanted to join back that were listening, y'all can get back in there here in a second, and we will start here shortly. Alright, awesome. Again, this is your host, Z-Rex, with No Noise Research. Be back in just 1 or 2 minutes. All right, what's going on? Back in the mix here. Yeah, again, sorry about that. That was kind of lame, but it happens. What are you gonna do? Just gotta move on. It's all good. So, I think I'm just gonna go a little bit faster with the first couple because I only just barely got into Deribit on the last one. So, that way I don't have to do a lot of video editing. It'll actually be faster this way. So, or not video editing, but the compiling and all that, and adding the videos together, because I actually don't like to edit my videos. I like to just keep them raw. I think it's better that way. But here we go. Starting again with the first article. Z-Rex here speaking to you from No Noise Research on August the 14th, 2018. It's been kind of a crazy time out there. I know y'all are probably sweating a little bullets. I know some of my altcoin paper positions look pretty rough, but that's okay. It's not the first time I've seen that. Won't be the last either. This market is volatile. If you are feeling lots of heat and sweat and you can't sleep well, and you wake up in the middle of the night and grab your phone to look at the price of Bitcoin, or, I don't know, put your shitcoin here, insert shitcoin here, then your position is likely too large. Just downsize a little bit and you'll definitely feel a lot better. Getting rich fast usually isn't a good thing anyway. Lottery statistics from winners have shown that, which is fairly interesting to me. It's better to make it a little bit over time, then it feels more rewarding, at least in my experience. Alright, now to the first article. For real this time. Square is in all 50 states now. Woo! Hooray! I need to get me a little soundboard here, a little better organized. Working on that. It'll be coming, guys, with due time. It is one-man operation for now, so. Alright, so Square first launched the Bitcoin trading on its app, which is really slick. We've talked about it in previous episodes. I did a little mini review on it. It's pretty cool. I like it better than any other way if you're going to use a traditional KYC method to purchase your Bitcoin. And by KYC method, I mean, you know, like a bank providing your ID, etc. Some documents to verify who you are. Which KYC stands for Know Your Customer. If you don't know, now you know. Square has also had a bit license to operate in New York since June. And then they announced, like right after that, they made 70 million in revenue in the second quarter of this year, which is double what they did in quarter one. Of course, everybody wants some of this. These prices are getting beat up because there's lots of weak hands, lots of ICOs. There's a lot of other factors. Plus, you know, it's not in the 5-digit club anymore. There's no... Yeah, it's boring now. It sucks. Well, at least that's what they're thinking. I don't think that. Y'all know that if you listen to any of these. I like the Bitcoins. And altcoins too. And I've liked altcoins too from the beginning as well. I did not start my show back then when I first started getting into this years ago, but I talked about it. I was just lazy, man. You know, don't be lazy out there. If you got ideas, by the way, that are unrelated to crypto, or you want to build something, do it. Do it. If you build it, they will come. It is true. Hard work is rewarded. Maybe not seem like it at first. Moving on to Venezuela. The Petro is about to be the second national currency behind its super valuable Bolivar. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. Bolivar. I'm going to call it the Bolivar. Yeah, which is kind of a joke. Even this author writes it and puts it in quotes. If you know anything about Venezuela, the inflation, or should I say hyperinflation, there is astonishing. So they're projecting it to be about 1,000,000% by the end of this year, guys. Woo! That's like the Wiemar Republic, which they reference here, and also Zimbabwe. You know, the Wiemar Republic was a while ago. That was like 20s. Zimbabwe was, yeah, just at the end of last decade. And something that's interesting to note is Zimbabwe just happened last decade, and now we already have Venezuela happening. Like, what? Just barely a decade later? Currencies aren't looking too hot. And by currencies, I mean fiat currencies. Bitcoin much? Or crypto much? Price of a cup of coffee down there used to only be 450 Bolivar. And now they're more than 1,000,000. Oh, gosh. How do you even carry that? What would you even do? Just wheelbarrow, backpacks, have your friends go with you. God, that would be terrible. 1 million Bolivar, by the way, is equal to about 30 cents. Booyaka. On that note, though, it's only 30 cents for a cup of coffee down there. Silver lining? I don't know. All right, Deribit. If you're not familiar with Deribit, they are similar to... God. Yeah, that's hilarious. These little hiccups, man, be punching me in the gut. That's okay. Learning curves. The other video, I'm just going to leave that one up. Said pretty much the same thing up until now, almost the exact same length, like so. You can go check those out for the visuals, and as always, I always put the sources, the links in the description below, as well as timestamps for the videos, so y'all can just kind of go watch what you want. All right. Anyway, so now at least I didn't get all the way through to the TA part, right? Silver lining, guys. Positive thinking. Deribit. So they're like Bitmex, and they just now they're even more like Bitmex because they have a perpetual contract that just launched today or yesterday, which is awesome. Been waiting for that. I paper trade on Deribit a lot. I've been using them for a while. They're pretty dope. They also have options, although they are very illiquid. So do be aware of that. But if you are a okay trader, even, or decent trader, it can be profitable. And by it can be, it's like mostly you just want them to like expire worthless, right? I can't highlight on this website, so I'm going to try to just kind of do these little circles, which is kind of crazy, but kind of cool at the same time. Perpetual contract is responsible for almost half the whole Bitcoin trading volume. Isn't that wild? And what's interesting, in a perpetual contract, you don't have to worry about rolling the future. So most people won't know about this because they don't trade futures, or they trade Bitmex and they've traded the perpetual, which is really cool because that takes that out of the equation. In traditional markets, you have to keep rolling the contract. So it's going to expire at some point in the near future, and you have to like sell that one and then buy the next month, and that's called rolling. So let's say you open up one last month and you bought the August futures contract, and in traditional markets they expire on the 3rd of every no, that's options, sorry, but they expire let's say on the 3rd of every month, like options do. So they'll expire this Friday coming up, and if you don't close it by then, it'll just close wherever it's at, and you need to reopen to the next one. But if you wait too long, then the spreads widen up, it sucks, the price movement and the gamma on the position is just not in your favor. You really want to do it like a week or two before. You don't want to really trade in those last couple of weeks on those. It's just not really the best. And in like the traditional markets, they're so liquid, I mean, you can go way far out. And I'll tell you another recent mistake I did recently. I talked about this one on, it was either the last video or before. It's titled in the video. I'm gonna start doing that whenever I make big mistakes. I'm gonna talk through them a little bit, and I'm thinking of a name for a segment or something. If you have any ideas, leave them below or message me or something. That would be awesome. But yeah, I'm just gonna kind of document my F-ups, my FUPs. Maybe I'll call it FUPs. And because I think people will learn from it, and it'll help me learn too, most importantly, for me, right? Like, it's awesome if it helps you learn too, but I'm trying to build myself as well. So that could just be an added bonus, and I think that by doing so, it would provide that. as a partial solution at least. I'd have to learn something of it, because I'm already learning things of just doing these videos and producing them and stuff. But anyway, I didn't roll the contract out before and took it out, forgot I had it. It closed in settlement when on the expiration date, so it just closes it. Okay, so now let's say you have some of those and it closes part of your position, and maybe you have varying contract expiration dates even. And what sucked is it closed it, and now that was like a good chunk of my position, right? And instead of kind of like rolling them out to the next one, so I have still the same price exposure, instead of taking it and having these wide spreads and taking unnecessary losses, it makes the liquidation process happen quicker, and it sucks. And it's like you're letting the broker just kind of take money from you, really, is what it is. I think that's going to be the simplest way, and I'll just kind of end it right there, because that's, while I'm talking about it, boom. You're just letting the broker win, and you don't have to. It's as easy as like click, 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 boom, and that's it. Super fast. But you don't even have to do that on perpetuals, which is nice, which is crazy also if you think about it. That's not even in traditional markets, and Bitmex has had perpetuals for quite a while. It's pretty revolutionary, maybe. It's also making people pay attention to the market, so the customers want to demand things. There's not that many traders, guys. I did a video probably a week or so ago, and there's a report in there called The Modern Trader that I go over, and it was really well done by a large brokerage firm. Y'all should check it out. I highly encourage y'all to do so. It has nice graphs, and there's even, if you don't even want to watch my video, there's a link in the description to the PDF. You can just download it and read it yourself. So, but very interesting on traders and how very few of them, how very few there really are. Relative. All right, so that's awesome. And Deribit is pretty slick. They don't offer 100x like Bitmex, though. They only offer 50 only. All right, high times. We talked about this a couple days ago. They're like, oh yeah, we're accepting Bitcoin IPO. We're pioneers, you know. We do the alternative stuff. We're gonna accept that in Ether, and we're amazing. And yes, and then, you know, that was it. What the hell? Why are we seeing this too in this market? People are so fidgety. It's funny. They like want to endorse crypto and then they step back on announcements, or it's all good, whatever. They're really only raising about like 50 million, so, you know, ICOs do that in like 15 minutes. So you I think they're kind of shooting themselves in the foot, quite frankly. Yeah, kind of a dumb move, because they could have like pioneered that. High Times is going to be pissed in the future. Oh well, nobody cares. Moving on. It's definitely not the announcement that's going to make Bitcoin go up either, right? If they got it. This is pretty cool. Charles comes out today, or yesterday, I believe, sorry. And he was going to announce it tomorrow on the 15th, but he just couldn't hold it in. And I'll just play this little clip that he said. It's pretty funny. Here you go.
Also, the markets are a little depressed right now, and maybe it would be nice to, you know, calm everybody down and say, hey, we still have a future and things are okay. Anyway, we've been here before, so everything's fine. Okay, so for the past few months, IOHK has been working really hard on two projects.
Sorry, I don't think that audio was very good. I should have mixed that up a little bit. My apologies. But yeah, he's just saying everything's fine in this market. It's a little crazy. I wanted to come out with this announcement as some good news. It's all well. Keep those windows latched. Don't jump out, please. And he's always so calm. I don't know if y'all have ever watched him. I recommend that y'all do. Go watch his videos and kind of check him out as a person. He was the former CEO of Ethereum. The former CEO of Ethereum is his title, but Ethereum is not a security though, right? Weird. I don't even care. That doesn't matter to me about that approval, but I just think it's just really funny. Everyone's like super opinionated on it. So he announced a cool feature, and he's part of IOHK, which is Input Output Hong Kong, I believe. He's the CEO of that now. It's called Icarus. It's a Chrome extension which can be ported to many other platforms like Mozilla and mobile applications. It's a complete wallet running on the browser. It can do everything that Daedalus can when they have the extension. And it's a one-click install. You can import your current wallet. If I have used that wallet before. It's like the ADA. You download the chain. It is kind of clunky. Works. It's clunky. Recover the wallet through that chain in a few minutes. You don't have to download the whole chain. And it's audited. Security audited. And I think they do that via universities. That was a real big thing that Charles wanted to bring into the space, is universities doing like audits on code and verifying things, and which is cool. I like that idea. So it's written as a hybrid of JavaScript and Rust, and is meant to create the vanilla light wallet experience. I think that's a little bit more technical. But if y'all should listen to this interview. It's like 15 minutes long, so obviously I'm not going to play that here. But he talks about some of the cool features and the tech behind it for if you want a little bit more detailed picture. All right, this is pretty cool. Despite its 70% drop, Bitcoin surpassed gold in settlement volume, and they're doing this with OTC gold markets. And OTC is over the counter, if you don't know. That is a trade that is private and off of an exchange. It's pretty much, think of it like you posted something on Craigslist, right? You wanted to buy Bitcoin for 10 bucks or an item for 10 bucks. That's like an over-the-counter market. You didn't go through any regulatory body or an exchange or a bank or anything. It was just like cash between the two of y'all or whatever. But anyway, it's on track to settle the gold market is, and this is based off the London bullion market, the LBMA, and that is pretty much what everybody measures gold off of. So 446 billion in 2018 is they're on track to do that for over the counter, which is less than 30 billion on a monthly basis since January thus far. Contrast to that, Bitcoin has already processed 848 billion this year and is on track to surpass 1.38 trillion on this current projection, obviously. Given that the LBMA, which is the London bullion market, account for at least 70% of the global gold OTC volume, at 848 billion, Bitcoin has already settled more value in the past 8 months than the predicted settlement volume of the entire gold market in 2018. Let that soak in a little bit, because I think that is awesome. I've been telling my friends about this for a long time. They've marketed gold, Bitcoin very much like gold, and I'm not a huge gold bug either. I prefer other metals. Silver, I think, is better. Gold works though too, of course. You know, you don't have to hold near as much gold. But there are other metals, platinum, palladium, etc. But anyway, that's very impressive. And it's happening. The gold bugs are moving to Bitcoin. It only makes sense too, guys. Like, one of these coins has to be the store of value. It's just the evolution of money. Like, what we were gonna... Does everybody really think that doesn't want to admit crypto is going to be here for something like that? We were just going to keep hauling around gold and do the same thing forever and ever? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Gold will still be valuable, as clearly it has shown. There's a good metric that gold has always been able to buy like a nice suit, like for a gentleman to buy a nice suit anytime, any point in history, which is true. It's kind of crazy. Not the best suit, of course, but just like a good, nice quality suit, not like Men's Warehouse suit. And I'm not crapping on the Men's Warehouse or anything. I'm all about saving money like that as well if you don't need it for whatever the occasions. But it's also nice to have nice suits as well. It's also cool to have nice stuff as well. So I get both sides. I'm not advocating for either. I'm just making a point economically. Bam. And that doesn't even include Ethereum, Ripple, Bitcoin, any other. That's just Bitcoin. And you know, guys, that people are out there doing OTC on everything if you haven't done it yourself, right? So I think it's fair to say if you include everything, and it's going to be real hard right now for these stats, but I bet you it's already doubled the gold market. And you could say, well, what about the silver market too? Because that's just gold. Yeah, all right. It's still not that much. But regardless, even if you added that and said it's all the same, it's still beating it right now. And I think it will continue to do so because it's just way more simple and fungible. I mean, if you've ever used Bitcoin and not through an exchange because they charge way higher fees. I mean, these exchanges are making buku fees off of withdrawals, and I don't think a lot of people know that. I don't know if they're really adding it up. It's not that much, but like compared to how much it costs just to send on the chain separate from like an exchange, it's pretty excuse me. It's pretty wild. I mean, you can usually send, I talk about this in a lot of the streams, you can usually send crypto, Bitcoin specifically, for less than a quarter. So a few days ago, since it's been selling off, if you need to move Bitcoin and rebalance some things in wallets, it's really good to do when it's selling off like this because the fees go dirt cheap. And that's even for the highest transaction. You can get in for like a Satoshi a byte, and it's like next block pretty much. And that's like pennies, y'all. It could be like 2 cents. It's awesome. But wait, it doesn't do that. All these naysayers like Peter Schiff and the guys that know everything, they say that it just doesn't even work. It can't scale. Those are morons. It's like the internet couldn't scale, right? That wasn't gonna work. It's like an average YouTube video would have crashed the internet back in the day, like in the 90s. Now it's like, how many of those average YouTube videos are there? A lot. Like this one right here. Just kidding. This is the best one, man. Alright, SEC is about to approve all the ETFs. No, I'm just kidding. This has nothing to do with ETFs. Actually, you probably thought it did, because that's all the shit talks about. It's pretty annoying. But anyway, they slap a fraudulent ICO founder with a fine of 30K and banned him for life. This is pretty intense, man, because like people do a lot crazier shit than this. Like, really? He didn't admit or deny, right here, the allegations, but they agreed to the bars and the 30K penalty. Now, 30K isn't that much, right? Like, it is, but it's not. But he can't ever serve in any capacity in a public company. And he's barred from penny stocks, from trading or even owning them. permanently. See, I'm not ever down with that. I think permanent bans are crazy. I know Tone Vase talks about permanent bans sometimes on Ethereum founders, and even Charles was on his show on one of his videos, and they were talking about it. It's pretty funny. You should Google it and check it out. But dude, whoa. Like, that's just, whoa, we can't do that. That's not okay. And it's a penny stock. Like what? Come on. Those are already super risky. That's why they're called even penny stocks. They're separated from the normal, traditional investment pack and investment grade stuff. Like, I don't think you should. And if you can ban people, you definitely shouldn't be able to ban them from penny stocks, guys. That's crazy. But the SEC is out there to protect you, okay? It's like they protected all those people from BitConnect. Yeah, that didn't work out. But this was for Tomahawk coin. You might have heard about it. Tomahawk exploration. And their kind of reasoning was that the owners would be able to convert the Tomahawk coins into equity and potentially profit from the anticipated oil production and secondary trading of the tokens. You know, maybe they just made it so obvious and like wrote that literally in their white paper. It just made it really easy for the SEC, but still, I don't agree with this idea. But what are you gonna do? I guess get an ETF. All right, markets. What? They're down? Ugh. Do y'all even want to look at this page? No, probably not. I mean, look at this, y'all. All-time high list. This is the percent down from its all-time high ever, not a local high or anything. That this is the highest price it's ever been at in its life. Look at this. 80% on Ethereum, 92 on Ripple, 87 Bitcoin Cash. Ugh, it's rough, guys. Cardano smash. Most everything is like 90. Binance only 60. Still showing that relative strength even over Bitcoin. Pretty funny. Can't stop CZ. Can't stop him. Wow, Icon 95% down, and I really thought that was going to be the one that was going to replace Bitcoin. Damn it. Yeah, so this is just brutal to look at. Bitcoin Diamond didn't make it either, guys. If you're, you know, I know I'm pretty shocked and disappointed. Bitcoin Private. Bitcoin anything else didn't really make it. Bitcoin Cash is still around. It's still down 87% though. That's in pretty much all the shitcoin basket percent-wise. Besides, you know, Binance is in its own league, clearly. But yeah, guys, this is pretty rough. Let's just go ahead and jump into charts. Actually, no, let's look at this real quick. I'm sorry. The market cap. Ugh, it's brutal, isn't it? So, like we were talking about, it did not hold at all. This 3, it didn't hold and blew through that. And then it was like 250. Is that even going to hold? And it didn't. And like just in the last, I mean, what is this? Like a week? We've just lost 50 billion. Pretty much in August, we've already lost 100, like a third of the entire market cap of cryptocurrencies in the world. That's crazy, right? Bitcoin's entire market cap now is only 107 billion. Its dominance, though, is up over 50%, which it has not been in a long time. And we'll go to CoinMarketCap to look at that graph because we can't do it there. I like both the sites. They both have a little bit different data, both very useful. This is one chart I do like on the CMC. But yeah, here you go. Bitcoin continues to smash and get some of this dominance. I'm curious to what happens when dominance comes back into, let's say, the 70th percentile. Right? Or maybe around this peak. What is that? Around 60? Like between, yeah, 60 and 80, let's say. is that showing that maybe a lot of people are getting into Bitcoin and moving money from all the crap coins and selling off all those garbage ICOs on Ethereum? Is that... I don't know. It's something I've been thinking about. Like, maybe Bitcoin is just getting charged up. It's like, alright, everybody dump all the crap and we're going into Bitcoin. It's time. The ETF is coming soon. We need to get ready. I don't know. Just a thought. But these don't look good. These are rough market cap charts. We are way down. We're like uncharted waters. Not uncharted, but you know, what do we got here? 174 is kind of the next support, you know. 174 to, maybe we'll just call it maybe 200. I'm going to call it 174. That's this previous high before it rolled over a good like 50%, which is right here, if you can see. But yeah, ouch. Let's go to the price. You probably don't want to. Turn the screen upside down, man. Makes it look better. Alright, here's the daily on the Bitcoin. Here's the boxes. We've had them on there pretty much since I've done these videos, guys. Y'all know what's up if you've been watching. We still have this weird A-frame pattern here. Boom, boom. Well, let me make this big screen. There we go. Yeah, so I don't... it's such a weird pattern. Still very symmetrical, even with the last few days. Just kind of chilling down here, hanging out in this green semi-buy zone. If you got balls, we are sitting at 6,200. This daily did get picked up a lot. If you'll see this candle here, it opened at 62.50, went all the way down to 58.50, y'all. Woo! Look at all that buying that came in, though. You know, that's actually interesting. Let's zoom in on that a little bit more and talk about that before we go into any internals and make it look more confusing. Yeah, look at that, guys. That is super... that's a hammer type candle. It's a lot of business done right there, percent-wise. I mean, what are you talking? This is about 7%, 6-7%, just in that candle. And what's surprising is, I believe all that buying came up right towards the end of the evening. Let's look at it on the hourly. On the hourly, we're going to check it out. So here's the close right here. It did, look at that. Since about lunchtime, it went from 6 and pumped all the way back up to pretty much negate this entire sell-off that happened yesterday evening. Interesting too, because I had some people ask me, they were very scared and they texted me about crypto and about the Bitcoin price. And then my friend was looking at that video, or his phone, and was all sad. Maybe we're getting a little exhausted. It's like, oh, God, that doesn't mean we're out of the bear market. I'm just saying for a little relief bounce where people can kind of like, maybe we'll come up to this top of this green box, which is pretty likely. If y'all watched a video I did where I told about a mistake that I made back over here, letting it get in here and then not closing a position and taking an unnecessary loss, and then adjusting the stop to just the bottom of this box now because I had already kind of go on there. And these are on closing bases, by the way. And so this one really would have swept me right here. I'm shocked that it got bought up that much. So the bottom 5.5% was like, no. And it came up above these. This could be a pretty bullish sign, guys, without even looking at any internals. So now this has become definitely like the floor. I'd almost say if we can close below the daily on at about 6,100, that's very bearish. So keep that number in mind. Put me a little alert on a daily. All right, see if that goes down. Yeah, because having all this selling get bought up to put it above these lows here, these closing lows, closing and opening candle bodies, and then now we're like floating above it. Very interesting. Let's look at some internals. Bears are still pretty damn strong. I guess that's divergence. I don't know. I'm looking down here at the RSI, the orange line. I don't really think it is. I'm not going to call that divergence. Well, people will be like, well, what about this low? This one's lower than that, and this is higher than that. Okay, well, that's marginal. It's close. It's not good enough for me. DMI, they're still above that area, that mid-20s area. They would like to see it be above. It's like right on it though. Let's zoom in on that actually. And oof, bulls are super weak though. They are below 10, which traditionally is a very bearish sign. But it also is where the bears get exhausted and the bulls are kind of like, all right, wait, we got to come back in here and poke a couple bears with our horns, kind of make a little path for them to run back through them, of course, in bear markets, right? Like, oh, way to bust the bubble, dude. Yeah, well, we're in a bear market, so you gotta let the price tell you. We are making and following this downward trend line on the DMI, though, on the sellers. So as long as they can kind of stay under that, I don't think we're going to get much more downside action from here. There's a lot of business done right here. Y'all want to look at it? I'm sure you do. Volume profile. Today we're going to mostly talk about Bitcoin too, just because everything else is sold off. I'm sure y'all can understand why. And let's just go back to the beginning of 2017 for this. So, yeah, you can see there's a big... Oops, did not mean to scroll that. There's lots of business done here and here. Let's just go ahead and draw a box, temporary box for the volume. Big business done in here, right? But then your next business isn't done until like mid 4,000s, y'all. So that's why I have this red dotted line here, because it's kind of the bottom of this range. It gives it a little cushion, and it's also the bottom of this wick, and where this consolidated and bounced off of multiple times before running up. So 50, I think that's about 54 or 53 or something. That is kind of the line in the sand. A daily close below that, watch the hell out. Like, God, don't talk so scary. Well, it could happen. The bullish case is we just got to chill right here. This is it. There's nothing else you really got to wait for. If we can just chill in this extended box here. Let me turn off the profile. It clouds up the chart. If we can just kind of chill in this box and go sideways for a while, that would be great. That's just the same as running up super hard, because it'll just happen a little bit after. You just got to be patient. The only thing is, though, the winter is coming, and bears have to hibernate at some point, right? Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm not sure if it's going to be an awesome winter or not. Bitcoin traditionally is, but, you know, history just rhymes. It doesn't repeat. But yeah, we have plenty of room to like do a crazy insano sell-off right here. Like do something like that. Like a crazy V. And then do this. It totally could happen. Like I could easily see that happening. That would be like my favorite thing to happen for Bitcoin, actually. You're like, damn, that's messed up. This could even go lower too, like this dip. I'm just saying this kind of shape. Like, damn, that's messed up, man. Well, it would be really constructive. That would be ultimate capitulation. Everything would be down like 90-something%. It'd be crazy. It'd be loco, man. But back to reality here. We're right on the bottom of here. Aggressive people. You know, longs are going to get long right here. Aggressive people are going to get long right here, for sure. Statistically, risk to reward, though, it's not that bad. Of course, I'm not telling you what to do. I trade my own money. Trade your own money. Do what you want. Learn how to trade. Don't just copy people. It never works. Anyway. So, this A pattern. I don't know what the A pattern means. I guess we're going to find out here soon. We're kind of just chopping. Let's look at the 4 hour, see if we see anything. No. Nope. Bulls are a little stronger on the 4 hour. It's a nice little pump here. Latter part of the day, catching up right at the end. Let's look at it on the 850. Yeah, looks okay. Looks okay. Not great. It's getting close. It's getting close. Bulls could definitely do a little snappy here. I would not be surprised to see a measure. Let's see, let's measure the move. Somewhere in this range right here. That would be like the mid 7,000s. I could totally see a bounce to that. That seems very likely. All right, let's check out ETH real quick. It better happen kind of fast too, because if it doesn't, we're gonna start like kind of trickle. Ooh, that would be ugly. That's when you want to watch out. I've talked about that before. Curves, arches, like domes, kind of rounded tops. You don't want to see that like on any time frame. Those are not good patterns. Ethereum, it's got a nice hammer down here though. Look at on this increasing volume. This actually looks pretty textbook for capitulation, I would say. One could argue that very well with this type of profile and this candle too. Let's see if that sticks. We are way up here. Wow, on DMI, Jesus. Obviously it broke through this line. Look at that. Did give you a little warning. It was like, hey, bears is getting strong. Sorry, didn't have video for that to tell you. It was on there if you saw it. But wow, 40s. Let's see when was the last time. Back over here in November. Early December of last year. So that was this big sell-off. That was the last time we had, and you can see it on down here on my crosshair. I'm just matching up that level of negativity, man. Get that negative shit out of here. Now, if we get something like this candle right now, I think candles are a little bit better. If we get something like this happening soon, that's going to be real bullish. Because that will set kind of like this is the range. Easy to set stops. Those are great trades. Great ways to play. Because now the market's like, okay, now we got some business going on. Instead of just this like death by 1,000 days of cuts. I mean, look at this. This is brutal, y'all. It's brutal. I'm sure it's made some of y'all out there quit. The only thing you got to do is watch out for. Let me give you a bad example. I don't want to get too hyper bullish. Here you go. Here's one. You can be like, oh, damn, that's about the same. Like, that looks the same. You're like, oh, and the volume's kind of similar. Not as much, so you only have one candle. But you're like, oh, that could be it. And it tricks you. But that's okay. Remember, it just sets the range. So let's say you have that range. Cut it off. Does that. Here's your range now. 530 to about 550. And then that's it. You trade. You hold it. Ratchet your stop up if you do trailing methods, which is a good one. So you don't get shook out of positions too early. But then look what it does. It does a doji right after that, and then a candle that it's almost engulfing for the last 3 days. Just murders it. And it's starting to form like a slight rounded top, right? And then does it and then makes like a nice rounded one. And now you've got a daily that even closed below here at 520. That's it. That trade's done. Over. You should already be out. You shouldn't have captured any of that. Because this is the part where you think it's going right here. This candle. And then especially this candle. You're like, it's not going any lower. There's no freaking way. This is it. I'm doubling down. It's only 10% from where I bought it. Or maybe even if you bought it in here, let's say it's like right about where you bought it, and you're like, dude, it's about to go up. I'm gonna buy some more. And then it breaks below here, and you're like, dude, that's one candle. It's gonna snap back. And then you'll probably wait till this day. It'll snap back a little bit and almost touch it, and you're like, oh, I'm buying more for sure now. Dude, God, don't trade like that. Don't. I've done it a lot. It does not make you money. It doesn't. I know this from experience. Just trade what the price action's telling you. It is king. It is telling you what's happening. You just have to be able to change. It's the most important part. Here's this rounded top too. Look at that. See that? I mean, it's like perfect. It's even like on the wicks too. Alright, anyway, let's go to the internals a little bit and some smaller time frames. We just mentioned that RSI is super low. It's like 15 or something. 4 hour, yeah, we got a big 4 hour candle here. Not a whole lot of volume yet. We need to see this continuation like hardcore, because if it doesn't break, let's just do a little measurement. About 300 bucks. We're gonna go ahead and put that as an alert real quick. About 300 bucks. If it doesn't close above that on a 4 hour, that's just a dead cat bounce to get more selling going. So to be aware of that. On the daily though, it does look pretty good. This is good. Capitulation setup, high volume, higher than here. Dump, price action comes all the way back up there. So that's good. And Bitcoin showing something similar. Let's look at Litecoin. Yeah, same pattern. Ethereum's looks a little bit cleaner. There's not as much volume on Litecoin, but Litecoin has been just totally mollywopped. Charlie Lee warned us, guys, when he sold back here. He's like, it could go. Don't hold it unless you kind of want to hold it to 20 bucks. That's what he said. Man, if he's right about that, that's another, oof. Let's just measure it to scare you. That's another 62% down from here. Woo! Yeah, hopefully he's not right on that one. That would be rough. Alright, XRP, and then we done. XRP is showing a similar pattern, not the same volume though here, but it does have a hammer. So we are getting lots of hammers. So there's a lot of buyers that came in here and was like, man, there's some value. Let's pump this a little bit. You notice you have not seen good hammers like that on all of the charts and pairs. So this could be a interesting pivot point. I'll be watching it closely. I'm back in town. Again, this is Z-Rex, your host at Noiz Research. And I will be doing a video now, back in the grind for daily. I do apologize that if you were fiending, all my subscribers, I know. Speaking of, sub, bell, and smash. Get it in. It's free to do it. Just do it. You know you want to. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.